Imagine waking up one day with billions in the bank, only to watch it vanish in just a few short years. The truth is, even the richest people on earth aren't immune to losing everything. And the way they fall is often more shocking than the way they rose. Story 1. Mike Tyson. From heavyweight champion to bankruptcy. Let's start with one of the most famous downfalls of all time. He wasn't just a boxer. Tyson was a phenomenon. Throughout his career, Tyson earned over $400 million in prize money and endorsements, becoming one of the highest paid athletes ever. But that fortune slipped away extremely quickly due to Tyson's insane spending habits. Crazy purchases include a $2 million gold-plated bathtub for his wife, over $100,000 per month on clothes and jewellery, a fleet of luxury cars including dozens that he bought on impulse, and of course, his infamous pet Bengal tigers that cost thousands each month just to feed. At his peak, Tyson burned through over $400,000 per month just maintaining his lifestyle. By 2003, Tyson was bankrupt with $23 million in debt. Surprisingly, Tyson has reinvented himself. He acted in movies such as The Hangover, hosts a successful podcast, runs a cannabis business that reportedly brings in millions per year, and even had some high-profile fights against Roy Jones Jr. and Jake Paul. The shocking part is, even today, Tyson admits he never really understood money. His story shows that no amount of income can outpace reckless spending. Story 2. Eike Batista, the billionaire who lost over $30 billion. Now for the most shocking story. 2012, Batista was the 7th richest man in the world, worth over $30 billion. He was Brazil's golden boy, symbolising the country's booming economy. He owned oil, mining, shipping and energy companies, and lived like royalty. Yachts, supercars and a mansion with a private racetrack, and he lost all of it in less than 700 days. You might be wondering how that's even possible, and here's how. His oil company, OGX, promised massive reserves of untapped oil. Investors around the world loved this and poured billions, shooting up the stock prices of Batista's company. However, unfortunately for him, the wells came up dry. The stock price crashed over 90%, wiping out Batista's entire empire. As debts piled up, he sold off yachts, planes and properties just to survive. But here's the kicker. Batista wasn't just unlucky. He was charged with insider trading and market manipulation. He was also accused of using privileged information to avoid his own losses, leaving ordinary investors with a huge loss in their investment. In 2018, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison for bribery and corruption linked to politics. From $30 billion to 30 years in prison in under a decade, no fall from wealth has ever been so fast or so brutal. Story 3. Donald Trump. The comeback story. Now let's end on a surprising twist. Someone who lost it all and clawed his way back. By the late 1980s, Donald Trump was riding high. He had the Plaza Hotel, Trump Tower in Manhattan, casinos in Atlantic City, yachts and much more. He was the golden boy of real estate. But in the early 1990s, everything came crashing down. The US economy slipped into recession, Atlantic City's gambling revenues tanked, and Trump's highly leveraged empire built on billions in bank loans was exposed. Suddenly, Trump owed $900 million personally, with his companies burdened by another $3.5 billion in debt. But unlike Tyson or Batista, Trump had one key asset: his name. Banks realised that if they foreclosed on Trump completely, they'd be left with worthless casinos and unsellable real estate. But if they kept Trump afloat, his brand could help rebuild enough value for them to eventually get repaid. So, instead of cutting him off, 70 different banks sat down with Trump in 1991. They agreed to restructure his loans, lower interest rates, and extend deadlines. In exchange, Trump had to give up his yacht, his airline, and nearly half his stake in the Taj Mahal casino. Over the next decade, Trump clawed his way back. He leaned into licensing, slapping the Trump name on everything from hotels to steaks. But his biggest comeback move came in 2004 when The Apprentice aired on NBC. The show rebranded him from a debt-ridden developer to a TV billionaire, complete with the iconic line,
"You're all fired. All 4 are fired."
Suddenly, Trump's net worth was back in the billions, and Forbes once again listed him among America's richest. So what can we learn from these 3 very different stories? First lesson is income means nothing without discipline. Mike Tyson showed us that reckless spending can drain even the biggest fortune. The second lesson was that overconfidence kills. Batista bet everything on projections that weren't real and paid the ultimate price. And 3, your brand can be more powerful than the balance sheet. Trump demonstrated that reputation and negotiation can sometimes build what's been lost. At the end of the day, money comes and goes, but the decisions behind it are what truly shape a fortune. Some billionaires lose it all forever, others turn disaster into opportunity. If you thought this was wild, wait till you check out our video on the greatest scams of all time. And don't forget to subscribe.